While using digital technologies and platforms, physical and psychological health problems may arise. Individuals are expected to know the health problems arising from using digital technologies, to use digital technologies in a balanced way, and to avoid uses that may adversely affect their physical and psychological health. One of the possible dangers in digital environments is cyberbullying. At this competence level, individuals are also expected to be aware of digital technologies for social well-being and social inclusion. In this video, we will discuss health and well-being while using digital technologies in social life.
Technology addictions, also commonly known as digital addictions or internet addictions, are often overlooked due to the acceptance that society has placed on using digital devices. Technology addictions often go unnoticed by loved ones because the addicted individual may appear as though they are tending to something important, such as work-related tasks, on their digital device, when in reality hiding behind the screen is something extraneous. When a technological problem does develop and is noticed, it is often not viewed as being an imminent risk akin to an addiction to alcohol or drugs, because not only is it more acceptable, but it is also not viewed as being acute or deadly. Despite these beliefs, pathological technology use can indeed be pervasive and detrimental to one's health and well-being. In a growing digital age, there is a rapid expansion of digital use and subsequent potential for problematic pathological technology use to ensue. Internet addiction has, however, been formally recognized by the American Psychological Association, and countries such as China and South Korea, in addition to the World Health Organization, have recognized internet addiction as a significant threat to public health. Despite lack of consensus on diagnostical criteria for digital addictions, there are various studies that provide practical considerations of signs and symptoms of digital addictions. Although spending excessive amounts of time on digital devices can be a sign of a technology addiction, frequency and duration of time spent on digital devices in and of itself does not necessarily denote a technological addiction. More importantly, a technological addiction is apparent if and when digital usage interferes with one's daily life and general well-being, and if the individual has a preoccupation with using their digital medium of choice. Some signs of a technology addiction include inability to moderate or abstain from technology or a specific digital medium, preoccupation with thinking about using technological devices, compulsive technological use or experiencing cravings and urges to use digital devices, neglecting important life areas such as work, school, or relationships at the expense of technology, continuing to use digital devices despite it contributing to consequences in your life, losing interest in social and leisure activities that you once enjoyed at the expense of technology, using digital devices in dangerous situations, such as while driving a car or walking across a city street, experiencing unwanted mental health symptoms such as depression, anxiety, stress, or irritability at the expense of technological usage, using digital devices to induce pleasure or experience gratification, lying or hiding digital usage from family, friends, or colleagues as a result of guilt or shame, using digital devices for longer durations than intended, or finding yourself using digital devices with increased frequency over time. Some mental health professionals consider digital addictions to be a symptom of another disorder such as anxiety or depression instead of a separate disorder. Some also view it as an impulse control disorder, not otherwise specified. Nevertheless, many professionals in the field of mental health and addiction do view digital addictions as its own mental health disorder, and there are considerations for including it in future revisions of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Another type is online shopping addiction, also known as compulsive buying disorder, is a behavioral addiction that involves impulsive and compulsive buying of goods and services online. Online shopping addictions often serve as a temporary way to induce pleasure and feel good, and as a way of avoiding negative emotions and evading boredom. Online shopping is not only about the purchasing in and of itself, but is also about the excitement of browsing prior to the purchase. Work-related digital addiction is also a type which individuals who are addicted to their work are often praised for being hard workers, and while there is great admiration for good work ethic, problems can arise when individuals become dependent on their work. The work becomes a means of escape, and relationships, mental health, and general well-being can suffer. While work addiction is different from digital addiction, there are often technological problems associated with work addiction, especially for those in executive-level positions, or others who do office-related work. For example, being tethered to your email, especially late at night, or during other non-work hours, on weekends or holidays can be extremely problematic, resulting in problems connecting with family, increased stress, and other problems relating to psychological and general well-being.
There are also some other common forms of technology addiction. Gaming addiction is one of them. Gaming has become more popular than ever before and are available not only on consoles and computers, but also right on your phone. Some of today's most popular games include Fortnite, World of Warcraft, League of Legends, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Roblox, and several others. Part of what makes gaming so addictive are built-in rewards, hidden features, and side quests. Every time an individual completes a level, beats a boss, kills an opponent, or unlocks a new player or level, the individual receives a boost of dopamine, resulting in gaming-induced pleasure. Some games are never-ending. Socially interactive games such as esports have also become increasingly popular. Such games may be more socially engaging than one-player games, but can also lead to a false sense of social interaction. Gaming can also be compounded with gambling and lead to a dual addiction of both gaming and gambling. Social media addiction is also very common. Social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and others are highly addictive, and YouTube can also be grouped into this category. Every time an individual receives engagement via a like, follow, or comment, the individual's brain releases feel-good neurotransmitters, ultimately resulting in wanting more engagement. Social media, like social gaming, can invoke a false sense of social engagement, leaving individuals feeling isolated and alone. Endless scrolling of social media feeds, constantly refreshing feeds, or binge-watching TikTok or YouTube videos also serve as a way to fend off loneliness, fight off boredom, and fill other psychological voids. Doom scrolling and a fear of missing out also play a large part in social media addiction. It is also important to note that social media addictions that involve vanity, such as posting selfies, using filters, and a hyperfocus on physical appearance of self or others, can transcend into other disorders, such as body dysmorphia disorder, or plastic surgery addiction, and other ways of altering one's physical appearance. Most importantly, while gambling disorder is a diagnostic addiction unto itself, it is important to recognize and treat the pathological digital usage in tandem with pathological gambling when gambling is done virtually. Online gambling includes but is not limited to online casino games, online poker, online sports betting, esports gambling, day trading, and cryptocurrency trading. As previously mentioned, Internet gambling disorder is recognized by the American Psychiatric Association as a diagnosable mental health disorder. Of all the various forms of addictions, including substance use addictions, gambling addiction has the highest rates of suicide. As such, it is imperative to address problem gambling as soon as issues arise.
What is the treatment for a technology addiction? The first step of treating a digital addiction is the individual's awareness of the problem and a desire to want to get help. This is often the most challenging step for the individual. Oftentimes the problem is realized by family and friends who may seek out help on behalf of the individual. In many cases, an intervention is needed in order to assist the individual into recognition of the problem and help them initiate treatment. If the individual is motivated, the issue can resolve itself with self-corrective behaviors, screen-life balance, and assistance from technological innovations that help with digital moderation, such as by enabling app restrictions or Wi-Fi restrictions, turning off notifications, enabling Do Not Disturb mode, setting up automatic email or text responses, enabling automatic downtime, blocking apps or websites, using screen time reports, and other such innovations that can help curb digital use. For those that may need to seek professional help from an addiction therapist, there are different modalities of treatment available for technology addictions. Since each individual is unique with their own set of circumstances, history, and symptoms, it is important to find a treatment approach that works for each respective individual and tailor it to meet their needs. It will be important to address the contributing factors that led a digital addiction, such as neurological imbalances, underlying mental health issues, and environmental stresses. Some common modalities of treatment for digital addiction include motivational interviewing, cognitive behavioral therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, reality therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy, experiential adventure-based therapy, mindfulness-based relapse prevention, and behavioral modification. Therapy may be carried out as individual therapy, family therapy, group therapy, or a combination of the three using a multimodal treatment approach. Pharmacological interventions may also be used to address underlying mental health issues. Holistic and wellness-based treatments are often encouraged, focusing on meditation, nutrition, physical exercise, nature, and other natural remedies. Although there are inpatient residential treatment options available for digital addictions, treatment is generally done on an outpatient basis. In the digital world we find ourselves in, total abstinence from technology is unrealistic, nor is it an effective means of correction of the problem. There is consensus that abstinence from digital devices should not be the goal of treatment, but rather the goal should be moderation and balance. However, abstinence from digital devices, or at least abstinence from the source of the problem, social media, gaming, porn, and other digital sources that are not at the root of the individual's addiction, may be encouraged for the initiation of treatment for up to 45 to 90 days until the individual is able to work towards moderation, if moderation is the goal. In this video, we will describe the ways to overcome technology addiction. According to research, at least 64% people spend 4 hours of their leisure time in front of the computer. This is similar to watching TV, and is therefore associated with increased risk of developing obesity, diabetes. To kick out this habit, here are a few tips. You should go for a walk, cycle, or get some physical activity for at least an hour before logging onto your computer. Do rearranging of your furniture, so that television is no longer a focal point of the room. Read book or magazine, and make a point that you would be reading minimum 10 pages before turning on your computer. Also, creating a list of activities or projects, such as cleaning up of messy cupboard, organizing recipes, painting on bedroom walls, sorting out sewing materials. In a similar way, smartphones today find its application in checking the bank balance, investing, sharing photos, chatting. Imagine the impact of losing it, and this would then add up to a lot of anxiety and stress. There are times when you will feel it's just vibrated, but it may be a false alarm. Sometimes you run back home while going to store just to pick your phone. Getting poor grades in school can also be blamed to cell phone addiction. To get over this, allow yourself to check messages for 1 minute before dinner. Then keep your phone facing downwards on the table in silent mode until your meal is over. Knowing that you will be checking again will refrain your brain from obsession. Keep your brain from being overloaded by strolling for 15 minutes outside, or flipping a book with photographs of natural environments. This method of exposing yourself to nature will help your brain to focus better. Find your pleasure point, or retrain your brain by actively doing something that makes you happy, instead of always reaching into your pocket. Learn moderation and limit use of technology by leaving your cell phone at home 1 day a week. There may be a feeling of anxiety, but life won't end and you will find a way to overcome anxiety. Make a list of things you would like to do and try them out in your spare time, instead of hanging out on the phone. Social networking sites have revolutionized computer use among young and adults, and is now catching fast, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or personal blog. Though there are lots of good things to be connected, but social networking sites take a toll on your health. Research shows that frequent users have signs of obsessive-compulsive disorder to attention deficit disorder. To get over this, reset your brain to better control to surf, text or tweet, and put your mind at ease by taking scheduled tech breaks. Limit your time on social networking sites, and use your time on internet surfing for holidays, reading news websites, or looking for books. Also, wasting time on the computer is easy, and lots of people have problems with spending too much time on the computer. Addiction to games on the computer is as powerful as drug addiction. Excessive usage could lead to serious problems down the road. You should move the computer to an open area and out of the bedroom if they are facing any problems in the desire to escape. Set up a password so that only you, parent, can log on to it. Find out to what degree you are addicted and what activity you do on the computer. Set up a time limit on the amount of time you can spend on the computer per day. Check the internet browsing history to see what websites you are visiting, or install a keylogger to monitor the program they are using. Video game addiction can be referred to as an impulse control disorder devoid of the intoxicating drugs, but very similar to that of the pathological gambling. Statistics shows that men and boys are more likely to be addicted as compared to women and girls. It has been found that nearly 1 in 10 youth gamers, ages 8 to 18, can be classified as pathological gamers. Gaming addiction can cause personal, family, academic, financial and occupational problems. Those suffering from this kind of addiction spend more time with self and less time with real people around them and are often viewed as socially awkward. In addition, these gamers can create online personas or avatars, where they can create fake identities. People attempting to quit gaming addiction can have withdrawal symptoms including anger, anxiety, fear, irritability, sadness, loneliness, boredom, restlessness, stomach upset. It can also cause physical discomfort and medical problems like carpal tunnel syndrome, dry eyes, backaches, severe headaches, and irregular eating habits like skipping meals, lacking personal hygiene, and disturbed sleep. Solution: first step is to determine if there is any such problem. If yes, then help should be sought from a certified addiction counselor who is trained in identification and treatment of such addictions, so as to determine the appropriate level of care. Learn moderation and limit the use of games even on phones. Experiment with short periods of inaccessibility or electronic free time. Go green and choose outdoor activities like playing outside and other physical activities rather than spending time indoors. Find a buddy or accountability partner with whom you can enjoy, share and spend time. Don't walk alone on the road to recovery as old habits die hard. With every passing day, technology is taking over our daily lives, regardless of age, gender, ethnicity, career or economic status. Anything can be abused, but moderation is the key. It is best to use and appreciate technology moderately, without letting it rule our lives or hinder those around us.